To those of you who have got a keen eye, you may notice that not only has my appearance changed, but so has my name. And to those of you who have got quite a good memory, you may also remember the free-to-play guide series, and that is what we are kicking back off with today. Believe it or not, this is actually episode 7. The last episode was 2 years ago, and we're essentially just replaying Adventure Quest Worlds because it is what I am calling a big nostalgia trip. We're not going to be skipping through quests particularly much, we'll just be speeding along as and when it gets a little bit dull. There is a playlist on the channel for if you have missed any of the previous episodes. Esharion was the first Chaos Lord we went along and beat because yes, of course, we are playing through fully in order, which I can't remember if you have to do that anyway, to be honest, or if you can chop and change between the maps of the Chaos Saga. It's been so long, hence why we're redoing it all. We've also stuck ourselves in with the J6 Hyperion Saga. I can't remember though if it was on Misgoon or my other alt where we actually went along and did the guide, so there is the potential that we may have already done that, but I don't think it was on Misgoon, so we're most likely going to be recapping over that as well in the coming videos. I just really wanted to get back to this. It is just really nice. You know, you're out in the Pines map, we're defeating grizzly bears. When the cutscenes come up, we are going to be watching them and reading them to some extent. That's the plan, and like I say, we're going to go through lots of different sagas, lots of old maps, and eventually, if I stick to this, we could catch up to some form of modern game content, but I really don't think that is going to be happening anytime soon in the foreseeable future. I'm almost certain that the previous episodes I did as live commentary, but we're going to be doing this from a third person perspective because if I was doing it live, I'm going to be totally honest with you, it's going to sound like I'm at an airport because the computer fans will literally be taking off in front of me. Whilst defeating the bear, we managed to get ourselves a sheep pet, and I thought to myself, you know what, we need to equip this sheep to see what it really looks like, and I equip it, and to be honest, I've only just noticed in the editing of this that it never actually appeared next to me. I didn't even notice when I did that in game. I honestly thought there was a sheep running around next to me, so clearly I'm just going absolutely bonkers, and that just was never the case. The next monsters we needed to defeat were the red turtles, and the red turtles didn't have any kind of spinning animations, mainly because we turned animations off, but you can imagine it's spinning all over the floor. Maybe in future episodes I need to turn animations back on so we get the full Adventure Quest effect going on for us. There was more AC tagged items dropping. There was a axe of some description. I guess it fits in with this map if you're thinking of going along cutting down some pine trees, and also a hat. I'm fairly sure I'd pluck up the courage and just outright delete all those items, but I didn't look at any of the rarities or anything, because I do not remember those being a thing back along, and I definitely don't remember getting AC tag drops when I first came along to the Pines map, but you never know. Like I say, I may just be super duper forgetful. Loads of Dwarfhold rep, and one of the most pointless things I've done in this video is enable an XP boost for monsters, giving me about 140 XP a kill. Misgoon did only have 2 XP boosts, so when I say I was wasting it, I honestly was really wasting it. Twisted Tooth is our first kind of monster that could have posed some form of challenge, not to a level 33 though, and we munched through him very quickly. That is again one of those monsters, I swear I used to come along here just sat in this room defeating for ages when it first came out, thinking there's going to be a cool item drop. Young Goon never went along and looked on the wiki at those sort of things back in the day, so I'm certain I wasted many hours of my life. After completing the Bearfax quest though, we are now able to head back into the tavern and speak to our lovely dwarven friend. I can't remember his name, so I need to wait to be clear on him. Snowbeard! Of course, it was Snowbeard who sent us over to the llama farm, where there is Donna Charmer. And if you would like to speak to Donna Charmer, yes, there are going to be more quests that we need to complete, and they will take us back to the Pines map in a moment. However, me being me, obviously forgot this, and I'm certain, again, I've probably done this every single time I've completed this quest chain, I checked out the actual stables thinking that is where the monsters are going to be. But no, we're back outside again because we need to beat up more of those red turtles. The turtle monster is one of those I'm really conflicted with because I know he's enormous and probably snapping away at my ankles whilst we're in battle, but it's one of those monsters that when I think of a monster, I don't really think of a nice little swimming around turtle in the sea. But hey, gotta do what we gotta do. So, if we move on to our next quest, it is all about the bear again. So yes, we are heading back to our old friend Grizzly, not Twisted Tooth, although I could add to my kill count, I'm sure. I don't know what it is about the Pines map, it just gives me good vibes. It might be the vibrance, the colour, the idea that we're outside in the elements, I really don't know. Or it could just be the fact that I resonate so much on my childhood to these early releases of the Chaos Saga. It may just be a me thing, but I really do think the Mobius and the whole Dwarfhold part of the quest chain was probably my favourite bit. And again, I don't know if it was just because it was the bits that were released first and I just have the fondest memories of, but I just seemed to enjoy those ones the most. Arkan Grove, when we get to that, was an absolute pain in the rear with all the puzzles they chopped into those maps. And I'll tell you what, they were actually quite good to go along and add some kind of variety to them, and we will come across them in the future and have to repeat them and probably get stuck yet again. One monster I fully forgot was even at this map is Leatherwings, and we need to go along and beat up a load of those as well. Please do not pay any attention to how I use Blood Sorceress throughout this video. I'm honestly just spamming away with it, not really thinking too much about what I'm doing. And that, just for info, is fully how I intend to continue using the class, so I shall not be changing in that way. Okay, we're nearly there anyway with those Leatherwings. I say nearly, we are there with the Leatherwings, which leaves us one final quest to go along and do. And this one right here is going to be all about getting Snowbeard's gold. The first thing I did after grabbing that gold item was to look at my inventory for it. It turns out it's just a temp item. And to be honest, the first thing that came to my head was, let's just flog the coin, but obviously we're not able to do that, spoiler alert. After defeating the Pine Troll, we were able to grab ourselves the air freshener and head back to the llama farm, where I was pointed in a new direction. Obviously we needed the gold coin first. Once we got that though, it was a case of heading back to the tavern and giving that coin to Snowbeard. Again, that's one of those things I just totally forgot even existed, and this is me looking through my inventory for that coin that was never even in there. Once I finish having my senior moment, we finally are able to go along and complete our final quest. Before moving on though, we do need to remind ourselves of the shop that is available here, because it's one of those again that I very rarely ever look into, and to be quite frank, there might be something that could be worth going along and grabbing. In this case, only one of the real items that appealed to me in amongst the maze of member items is going to be this sort of variation of the Blinding Light of Destiny, which we may come back and look at purchasing in the future. When we come back for our next episode, we'll be picking up at Dwarfhold and seeing how much further through this saga we're able to get on our quest to defeating Vath and Stalagbite. I'm sure we'll pretty much get there next time, or at least be incredibly close. We will of course return to the J6 saga as well and complete that, and just touch on loads of different storylines and things to do in game, because that's really what this is all about. If there's a particular map you want me to go along and do the quest chain for, mention it down below. But until next time folks, have a lovely day, and I'll see you all again incredibly soon.